Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic. For today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Battle Shell Michelangelo. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at this guy. Alright, so here we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Battle Shell Michelangelo. Now from the front of the box, it looks like your standard blister card packaging. I mean, you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo up here, the four brothers prominently displayed right here, as well as Michelangelo's name. Also, you get a kind of view of how the Battle Shell feature works. But that's not what I think is so interesting about this packaging. It's more of the back. I really enjoy that they have a window back here so you can actually see how the weapons fit in there, and you can kind of see the shell actually opening. Back in the 80s when this line first came out, they didn't really have that, and so you kind of just had to guess to how everything would look in there. I'm going to completely start over. Alright, so here we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Battle Shell Michelangelo. Now from the front of the box, it looks like your standard blister card packaging. I mean, you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo displayed right up here, the four brothers on the side, along with Michelangelo's name down here. You do get a little glimpse right here of how the Battle Shell feature works, and a nice little prompt to tell you to look at the back, which is what I think is the most interesting. It's kind of nice that they put this little window in here so you can actually see how all the weapons fit in there. I'm sorry if there's a big glare on here, the lighting's kind of messed up, but I really like that little window in the back. The 80s line didn't really have that, and so for kids today, you can really see how all the weapons fit in there, and it's really nice. You get your standard bio on each of them. That's kind of the same for all four turtles. Another little image right here that's kind of a bit bigger, showing how the Battle Shell feature works again, as well as the new turtles that are in this line, the Battle Shell guys, along with a lot of the new villains. Well, anyways, without further ado, let's open this guy up and take a closer look. Alright, so here we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Michelangelo straight out of the box. Now, comparing them to the first Michelangelo that we got, these guys are a lot more show accurate. You can see that the hands are a lot more squared off compared to the first Michelangelo over here, and that his feet have these little tiny nubs as opposed to the gnarly toes right here. The knee pads are a little bit more rounded off on the first one, where they have this more nice square look to them. And the faces are definitely a lot different. This Michelangelo's face is a lot more show accurate, but to me, it just seems a little bit too smooth. Almost as if when they were sculpting it, it kind of got blurred or squished a little bit. As opposed to this one, I mean, it's nowhere near show accurate, but just to me, it just seems a lot more detailed. I'm just a little disappointed when it comes to this one. Now, as far as skin tone goes, you can see that these ones have a lot more smoother plastic, where these ones have a lot of little grit and detail, and you can almost see like the pores on them. I really like the first line a lot better. Also because of the details of the shell. I mean, you got all these cuts and scrapes, where these ones just have smooth shell right here. These ones almost seem like they got in more fights and had more mishaps when they were training, and these ones just seem like there's no real story behind it, that they played it too safe when they were growing up. And the shells are a lot more different. I mean, these ones seem to have a little bit more detail, and pardon the paint job on here. I mean, I don't want to say that that's actually how the shell looks, but I've just been adding some more detail. You can definitely see that, yeah, these shells just look like it's a generic pattern, where these ones definitely have more of an indentation and just look a lot more detailed. Anyways, as far as his articulation go, his head can swivel around, sort of. I mean, it's a little bit of a tight joint, and his shell kind of butts up against the back of his head, so he can't really look up too much. He can move side to side. His shell, yeah, kind of just gets in the way. His arms can move 360 degrees, his elbows can bend and rotate, his wrists can swivel, and his legs can move up. Now, his shell seems to be of a soft plastic, but it's a lot thicker than the others, so it does make sitting positions a little bit hard for this guy. And his knees can bend as well. Now, one thing that I've noticed with all these characters is their legs aren't completely straight, or they're not in line with each other. Whereas you see this guy hit both legs, when you put them down on the ground, they're really firmly planted. This one leg is always going to be up over the other. I think in order to get them both flat, you have to have them in some weird, awkward battle pose or something. It just kind of takes it away from me. As far as his battle As far as his battle shell gimmick goes, you just kind of pop it open right here. And you see there's a nice little indentation right in his back of his shell to fit his little throwing stars, which I like more than the other ones. I mean, the other battle shell guys, it was just a little peg that you fit in there, but this one actually has a nice indentation to actually fit them in there. Then you take this other little weapon right in here, slide it right in these two little slots that are made for it. There we go. Kind of rotate it on one side, and then you have all of his weapons that can fit inside his shell. Now, as far as his weapons go, though, I probably should have talked about them first before putting them in there. His ninja stars are a little bit better than the other guys in this line. I mean, he can actually hold them a little bit more like this, which I actually like. They have a nice big hole in the center that his fingers can fit inside, either his thumb or his index finger. So to me, that actually makes it a little bit better, like he's actually going to be flicking this and throwing it around. As far as this weapon goes, it's kind of a disappointment. This is one of the coolest ones from the first Michelangelo, but this one has to be shrunken down and so small. It almost kind of looks comical to have just this tiny little blade. And the chain part right here, which is supposed to be really long, has to be shortened just so it can fit inside his shell. That's a little bit of a disappointment. Also, his regular nunchucks are so oversized that it kind of stretches out the hands. And if you want to have this one in here, it just makes it a little bit too loose for him to actually hold. So far, these guys have been kind of a little bit of a disappointment and a letdown. I mean, as far as show accuracy goes, I really like the looks of them. But just other than that, there's a lot of other little features here that just, I don't know. I'm still happy I got them, and just so I could review them and take a look at them. But I don't know. If you're gonna get it for a kid, they probably wouldn't mind. But as far as serious collectors, it's up to you guys if you really want them. Anyways, this has been a look at Battle Shell Michelangelo. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a comment below in the comment section. Also, check out some of my other toilet videos. Anyways, till next time.